The Alps, a breathtaking expanse of jagged peaks and sweeping valleys, stretch across 8 European countries, forming a natural barrier that has shaped the continent's climate, culture, and wildlife for millennia. Yet, within this vast range, the Swiss Alps possess a singular enchantment, where the mountains rise in dramatic serrated lines, their snow-draped summits catching the first blush of dawn and the last golden rays of dusk. More than half of Switzerland is dominated by these formidable peaks, a realm where the land is sculpted by relentless forces, gravity, wind, and ice, into a world of dizzying heights and plunging chasms. Here, mountains soar beyond 4,000 meters, their ancient bones thrust skyward by the titanic collision of the African and European tectonic plates. Over millions of years, these forces have folded and fractured the earth, creating a labyrinth of ridges, spires, and hidden cirques. Far from being barren, these slopes are alive, a tapestry of color and movement. In spring, alpine meadows burst into bloom, a fleeting spectacle of gentians, edelweiss, and alpine roses, each adapted to thrive in thin soils and fierce sunlight. Dominating the landscape, the Aletsch Glacier winds for 14 miles, its surface a maze of crevasses and blue-tinged seracs. This ancient river of ice grinds inexorably downhill, sculpting valleys and feeding crystal-clear streams that tumble into the depths below. The Alps are a vertical wilderness where sheer cliffs and knife-edged ridges create a mosaic of microhabitats. Every ledge, every scree slope is a test of survival, demanding agility and resilience from all who dwell here. This mountain kingdom is divided into distinct zones, each shaped by altitude, exposure, and the relentless march of the seasons. From lush, sheltered valleys to wind-scoured summits, each layer harbors its own community of life. In the subalpine zone, dense forests of spruce and larch cloak the lower slopes, their roots anchoring the soil against landslides. Here, meadows shimmer with dew at dawn, and the air is alive with the hum of insects and the calls of songbirds. Higher still, the trees thin and vanish, replaced by a resilient carpet of grasses and wildflowers. These alpine pastures, battered by wind and frost, are home to plants that grow low and bloom quickly, seizing every moment of the brief summer. At the highest elevations, the glacial zone reigns, a stark world of perpetual snowfields, exposed rock and howling winds. Here, only the hardiest mosses and lichens cling to life, painting the stones with subtle hues of green and orange. This intricate layering of habitats supports an astonishing diversity. Over 4,000 species of plants, from delicate saxifrages to ancient pines, share these slopes with a multitude of animals, each exquisitely adapted to their niche, from the tiniest alpine beetle to the sure-footed mountain hare. Amidst this abundance, a select few stand as the undisputed rulers, the apex predators, whose presence shapes the fate of all beneath them. These masters of the hunt, keen-eyed, silent, and relentless, are the architects of balance, ensuring that the web of life remains taut and unbroken. The golden eagle, with wings spanning over 2 meters, rides the mountain thermals, scanning the slopes for the faintest movement. Its vision is so acute it can spot a marmot from a mile away, and its talons strike with lethal precision. The Eurasian lynx, a phantom in dappled fur, glides through the twilight forests. With padded feet and razor-sharp senses, it stalks silently, its presence revealed only by the fleeting imprint of a paw in the snow. The grey wolf, once driven to the brink, now returns to these valleys. In tightly knit packs, they traverse the snowy expanses, communicating with subtle glances and haunting howls that echo through the night. Their presence shapes the destinies of the nimble chamois and the majestic alpine ibex, whose split hooves and powerful muscles allow them to dance across sheer cliffs, always alert to the shadow of a predator overhead or the whisper of movement in the rocks. Our journey will plunge into the heart of this wild kingdom, where every valley and ridge tells a story of adaptation, struggle, and survival. We will witness the Alps' dramatic transformation through the seasons, the riot of life as snow melts and meadows awaken, the frantic race to feed and breed before the return of winter, and the silent crystalline world that descends when snow buries the land. Here, survival demands ingenuity. Marmots retreat into deep burrows, their heartbeats slowing to a whisper. Mountain goats grow dense, insulating coats, while ptarmigans trade brown feathers for white, vanishing into the snow. In this fragile, ever-changing world, every creature plays a part in the intricate dance of life. The Alps endure as a sanctuary of wildness and wonder, a living testament to the power of nature and a kingdom where only the most extraordinary can thrive. High above the jagged peaks and plunging valleys of the Alps, the golden eagle reigns as an unrivaled aerial monarch. Its silhouette, broad-winged and commanding, glides effortlessly on invisible currents, surveying a kingdom carved by ice and time. This magnificent raptor is the undisputed sovereign of the Alpine skies, a living emblem of wildness and power. Every feather is honed for survival, every movement a testament to millennia of adaptation to this rugged world. With a wingspan stretching up to 7.5 feet, the golden eagle commands vast territories, patrolling with effortless grace. It rides the thermal updrafts that spiral from sun-warmed slopes, conserving energy as it scans the landscape below for the faintest sign of life. Its vision is legendary, up to 8 times sharper than a human's, capable of detecting the twitch of a marmot's tail or the subtle movement of a hair from miles away. From a high perch, the eagle's piercing gaze penetrates the patchwork of meadows, scree, and snowfields. The golden eagle is a predator perfectly engineered for this environment. Its broad wings and powerful muscles allow it to soar for hours, while its razor-sharp talons and hooked beak are built for dispatching prey in a world of dizzying heights and open spaces. Hunting in the Alps demands both patience and precision. The eagle often circles high above, waiting for the right moment to strike. When opportunity arises, it folds its wings and plunges earthward in a breathtaking stoop, reaching speeds over 120 miles per hour. Its targets are as varied as the landscape itself: mountain hares darting between rocks, marmots basking in the sun, or even young chamois navigating steep slopes. The eagle's approach is silent, its timing impeccable, and its strike is swift and lethal. The sheer force of the golden eagle's attack can overwhelm prey much larger than itself. With powerful talons, it seizes its quarry, sometimes carrying it aloft or dragging it to a secluded perch to feed. In winter, when snow blankets the mountains and prey becomes scarce, the eagle's resourcefulness is tested. It adapts by reducing its hunting frequency by about 30%, conserving precious energy and focusing its efforts on moments of greatest opportunity. The golden eagle's resilience is remarkable. It will scavenge when necessary, feeding on carrion left by avalanches or other predators, and even break through snow to reach hidden prey. Its ability to endure the harshest conditions is a testament to its mastery of survival. Fiercely territorial, golden eagles form lifelong pair bonds. Together, they defend their domain from rivals, performing dramatic aerial displays, locking talons and tumbling through the sky in a breathtaking ballet of strength and trust. Their nests, or eyries, are monumental structures of sticks and branches, often built on inaccessible cliff ledges or in the tallest trees. These locations offer safety from predators and a commanding view of the surrounding territory. Each spring the female lays 1 or 2 eggs. Both parents share the duties of incubation and feeding, tirelessly bringing food to the nest. The chicks grow rapidly, demanding constant attention and nourishment. Raising young in the Alps is a monumental challenge. Fierce storms, sudden cold snaps and food shortages mean that often only one chick survives to fledge. The journey from helpless hatchling to soaring fledgling is fraught with peril. The golden eagle's presence is a vital indicator of a healthy alpine ecosystem. Its survival depends on the abundance of prey and the integrity of its vast hunting grounds. As an apex predator, the golden eagle helps regulate populations of herbivores, preventing overgrazing and maintaining the delicate balance of alpine meadows. Its influence ripples through the ecosystem, shaping the landscape in subtle but profound ways. By targeting the weak, sick, or injured, the eagle ensures that only the fittest survive, strengthening the gene pool of its prey species and contributing to the overall health of the alpine community. Witnessing a golden eagle soaring against the backdrop of snow-draped peaks is more than a spectacle. It is a living symbol of the wild spirit of the Alps. Every flight, every hunt, every call echoes the delicate balance that sustains this extraordinary mountain realm, where the golden eagle endures as both guardian and ruler. With the arrival of summer, the Alps awaken in a breathtaking display of life and colour. The once icy peaks now glisten under the sun, and the valleys below are transformed into a living tapestry. As the last remnants of winter snow retreat, emerald meadows unfurl, carpeted with a dazzling array of wildflowers, gentians, edelweiss and alpine asters, each species blooming in a precise sequence orchestrated by the warming days. The air, once silent and cold, now vibrates with the hum of bees and hoverflies, pollinators darting from blossom to blossom. Overhead, swallows and alpine accenters swoop and dive, feasting on the sudden abundance of insects. For the wildlife of the Alps, this is a fleeting window of prosperity. Every creature, from the smallest beetle to the largest herbivore, is drawn into a race to make the most of the season's riches. Temperatures in the alpine zone can climb to a gentle 20 degrees Celsius. The sun lingers late into the evening, granting animals precious hours to graze, forage, and nurture their young. This is the season of life, a brief, exuberant crescendo when the mountains yield their bounty and the entire ecosystem pulses with activity. In the high meadows, herds of chamois and alpine ibex gather, their coats sleek and glossy from the rich forage. They graze side by side, each species exploiting subtle differences in diet and terrain. The ibex, with their imposing, backward-curving horns, ascend to the most precipitous cliffs. Here, they nibble on tufts of grass and alpine herbs that cling to the rocks, their hooves gripping the sheer stone with astonishing agility. This vertical world offers safety from terrestrial predators and a vantage point to survey the landscape. Male ibex, in particular, devote these weeks to building muscle and stamina, sparring gently with rivals in preparation for the fierce contests of the autumn rut. Chamois, smaller and more nimble, graze in tight-knit groups of up to 30. Their large, dark eyes scan constantly for danger, and at the slightest hint of threat, the herd moves as one, melting into the rugged slopes. These agile antelopes can reach speeds of 50 kilometers per hour, bounding effortlessly across boulder fields and scree, their hooves adapted to grip even the loosest stones. The mountain hare, once cloaked in winter white, now sports a mottled brown-grey coat that blends seamlessly with the summer grass. It forages quietly, relying on camouflage and keen senses to evade predators. Lower down, the subalpine forests and clearings are alive with activity. Sunlight filters through larch and spruce, dappling the ground where countless species compete for food and space. Red deer, the giants of these woods, browse tirelessly. A single adult can consume up to 14 kilograms of leaves, shoots, and grasses each day, steadily building the fat reserves that will see them through the lean months ahead. The smaller roe deer are in the midst of their rut. Males chase rivals and court females, their calls echoing through the forest as they establish territories and vie for mates. The red fox, ever resourceful, uses this time to teach its kits the intricacies of hunting. The young learn to stalk, pounce, and listen for the faintest rustle in the grass. Fox kits practice on small rodents and insects, but also discover the sweet bounty of ripe berries, learning to diversify their diet, a crucial skill for survival in the unpredictable alpine world. For the alpine marmot, summer is a frantic race against time. These social rodents emerge from their burrows at dawn, foraging in family groups, their sharp eyes always alert for danger. Marmots gorge on grasses, flowers and roots, rapidly accumulating fat. Each mouthful is vital, for when the first snows return, they will retreat underground for months of hibernation. Sentinels stand watch atop rocks, issuing piercing whistles at the approach of a fox or the shadow of a golden eagle. These alarm calls ripple across the valley, a living network of vigilance. Summer in the Alps is a symphony of life, each species playing its part in a complex interwoven web. Pollinators ensure the next generation of plants, herbivores shape the meadows, and predators keep populations in balance. It is a time for growth and learning, for raising the next generation, and for storing the energy that will be desperately needed when the mountains once again fall silent beneath the snow. Every day is precious, every interaction vital in this brief, spectacular season of plenty. As the lush greens of summer slowly surrender to a tapestry of gold, crimson and russet, the Alps transform into a realm of breathtaking beauty and silent urgency. Across these ancient mountains, a profound shift takes hold. The air grows sharper, scented with the earthy aroma of fallen leaves and damp moss, while the sun's arc dips lower each day, casting long shadows across the valleys. Autumn in the Alps is not merely a passage of time, it's a race against it. The landscape itself seems to pulse with anticipation, every living thing attuned to the subtle signals of the changing season. The shortening days and cooling air signal the approach of winter's relentless grip. Sunlight filters through thinning canopies, illuminating the forest floor in fleeting golden light, while the first delicate frost crystals begin to lace the undergrowth. High above, the first snow dusts the jagged peaks, a silent warning that soon the world below will be blanketed in white. For the inhabitants of this mountain kingdom, every moment counts. From the nimble red squirrel to the stately deer, each animal is propelled by instinct and necessity. Squirrels dart through the undergrowth, cheeks bulging with seeds and nuts, while deer graze with focused intensity, building reserves for the lean months ahead. The forest is alive with purposeful movement. Birds flit from branch to branch, rodents scurry beneath the leaf litter, and every creature is driven by the same imperative: prepare or perish. The abundance of summer is replaced by a single-minded determination. In the subalpine forests, the red squirrel becomes a model of industriousness. With nimble paws, it navigates the branches, eyes bright and alert, clutching pine cones and acorns. Up and down the trunks it races, covering astonishing distances each day, driven by an internal clock that knows winter waits for no one. Each pine cone and nut is carefully selected, carried to secret locations, and hidden away in a network of caches scattered throughout its territory. While some are eaten on the spot to fuel this relentless activity, most are buried for the months when food will be scarce. The squirrel's memory is remarkable, yet not infallible. Many of these hidden treasures will never be recovered. Around 70 to 80% are found, but the rest remain, forgotten beneath the soil. These overlooked seeds are not lost. They are the forest's future. In spring, they sprout as saplings, ensuring the renewal of the woodland. Thus, the squirrel's frantic preparations become an act of regeneration, weaving animal survival into the very fabric of the ecosystem. This intricate relationship is a testament to the interconnectedness of life here. Each action, no matter how small, ripples through the environment. The forest and its creatures are bound in a silent, mutual pact of survival. For the larger mammals, autumn brings its own set of challenges and rituals. Herds of alpine ibex gather on rocky slopes, their silhouettes stark against the fading light. Tensions rise as males size each other up, preparing for the contests that will decide their fate. The males, their bodies strengthened by months of rich grazing, are now at their peak. Their thick coats and powerful muscles are the result of a summer spent feeding on alpine grasses and herbs. Now they engage in fierce battles, rearing up and crashing their massive horns together in displays of strength and stamina. The sound of horn against horn reverberates through the mountains, a primal echo of competition and survival. These contests are not merely for show. They determine which males will earn the right to mate, shaping the next generation of the herd. The victors stand tall, their dominance clear, while the defeated retreat to recover and survive another year. In the shadowy depths of the forest, the elusive Eurasian lynx sharpens its senses. As prey becomes scarcer, the lynx must adapt, expanding its territory in search of food. Every step is calculated, every movement silent, as it stalks through the rustling leaves and tangled undergrowth. This solitary hunter may roam up to 100 square miles, its keen eyes scanning for the slightest sign of movement. The lynx's survival depends on its ability to adapt, to cover vast distances and exploit every opportunity. It hunts roe deer and chamois, relying on stealth and patience to secure the meals that will sustain it through the bitter cold. As the mercury drops, the skies above the Alps fill with movement. The mountains become a vital corridor for migratory birds, their formations tracing ancient routes across the sky. Species such as the hawfinch arrive from distant lands, Scandinavia, Siberia, drawn by the promise of food and shelter. They pause in alpine meadows and forests, feeding voraciously to build the energy reserves needed for the next leg of their journey. The ptarmigan, however, is a resident of these heights, enduring the extremes year-round. As autumn deepens, it undergoes a remarkable transformation, its brown summer plumage replaced by a dense, snowy white coat. This new attire offers perfect camouflage against the coming snows, shielding it from predators and the elements alike. The ptarmigan's transformation is more than skin deep. Its feathers thicken, trapping precious warmth, while its feet grow feathered, acting as natural snowshoes. These adaptations are essential for survival in a world soon to be locked in ice. Every detail, from the ptarmigan's plumage to the squirrel's hidden caches, is a testament to the ingenuity of life in the Alps. Each animal, guided by ancient rhythms, prepares in its own way for the long silence of winter. In this season of transformation, the Alps become a living mosaic of adaptation and resilience, a kingdom where survival is written in every leaf, every paw print, and every breath of the crisp autumn air. As winter descends upon the Alps, the once vibrant kingdom is transformed into a realm of profound silence and relentless cold. The landscape, blanketed in endless white, becomes both breathtaking and unforgiving, a world where every living creature faces a daily battle for existence. Temperatures plunge far below freezing, often reaching -20 degrees Celsius or lower in the highest reaches. The air itself seems to crystallize, and the biting wind scours the exposed slopes, stripping away any lingering warmth. Snow accumulates in immense drifts, sometimes piling over 13 feet deep, smothering the landscape and sealing away the last traces of autumn. For the animals that remain, this is the ultimate crucible. Only the most resourceful and resilient can hope to endure the months ahead. Food becomes a rare and precious commodity. Each step through the deep snow demands energy, and every calorie spent must be carefully weighed against the chance of finding nourishment. Survival is no longer about thriving, it is about enduring the relentless assault of cold, hunger, and isolation. The mountains, once alive with movement and sound, now echo with silence. The wind whispers across frozen valleys, and the snow muffles every footfall, a world where stealth and patience are the keys to survival. Each species has evolved its own remarkable strategy to outlast the winter's grip. The Alpine marmot, for example, retreats deep underground, entering one of the most extreme hibernations in the animal kingdom. From October until April, it seals itself within a labyrinth of tunnels, insulated by snow and earth, hidden from the world above. Its body temperature drops to a mere 5 degrees Celsius, and its breathing slows to a whisper. The marmot's heart beats just a handful of times each minute, conserving every ounce of fat stored during the lush summer months. This remarkable adaptation allows it to survive half a year without food, water, or sunlight, a feat few creatures can match. Others, like the red deer, remain active, braving the elements above ground. Their bodies grow a dense, two-layered winter coat, trapping heat close to the skin and shielding them from the icy wind. Red deer gather in larger herds, pressing close together to share warmth and increase their chances of detecting lurking predators. Their collective body heat forms a living shield against the cold, while their vigilance is multiplied by many watchful eyes. Together, they scrape away snow to uncover hidden shoots and frozen grasses, eking out a meager existence from what little the land provides. For the predators, winter is a season of both hardship and opportunity. The deep snow slows their prey, but it also saps the hunter's strength. Wolves, with their broad paws and powerful legs, move methodically through the drifts, conserving energy with every step. When prey is spotted, the snow becomes both ally and adversary. Deer and chamois are slowed, but so are the wolves. The grey wolf relies on teamwork and intelligence, hunting in small, coordinated packs to outmaneuver and exhaust their quarry. In the subalpine forests, the barn owl reigns as a silent hunter. Its flight is ghostly quiet, and its senses are finely tuned for the hunt. With asymmetrical ears, the owl can triangulate the faintest rustle beneath the snow, detecting mice and voles hidden under 10 feet of powder. In a flash, it plunges feet first, piercing the snow's surface to seize its unseen prey, a masterclass in precision and patience. Every hunt is a gamble, a delicate balance between the energy spent and the reward gained. Failure can mean starvation, success, another day of life. Even the smallest birds have evolved ingenious tactics to survive the cold. The great tit, a tiny forest dweller, can enter a state of torpor on the coldest nights, slowing its metabolism to conserve precious energy. Sheltered in tree cavities, it remains motionless, its body temperature lowered to survive until dawn. The mountain hare, cloaked in a thick white coat, becomes nearly invisible against the snow, relying on camouflage to evade predators. It digs tirelessly through the drifts, searching for bark and frozen twigs. Its only sustenance until spring's return. High above, the golden eagle rides the frigid winds, its wings slicing through the thin air as it surveys the snowfields below. With eyes sharper than any other, it scans for the faintest movement, a hare, a marmot, or the remains of a fallen animal. Blizzards sweep across the mountains, burying trails and testing the limits of every creature. Ice forms on whiskers and feathers, and the relentless cold seeps into every shelter. In this silent, brutal season, only the most ingenious, the most resilient, and the best adapted will survive to witness the first rays of spring sunlight breaking over the snowy peaks. While the golden eagle reigns supreme in the open skies above the Alps, the rugged ground below is the domain of two of the Alps' most elusive and powerful predators, the Eurasian lynx and the grey wolf. The lynx, often called the phantom of the forest, moves with a silence that borders on the supernatural. This medium-sized wildcat is the embodiment of stealth, rarely seen and even more rarely heard. Its signature features: tufted ears that twitch at the faintest sound, a short bob tail, and piercing golden eyes, are perfectly suited for a life spent in shadow. The lynx's large fur-padded paws act as natural snowshoes, distributing its weight so it can glide silently over deep drifts without sinking. This adaptation allows it to navigate the dense, snow-laden subalpine woodlands with ease, where every step is calculated and every movement deliberate. The lynx is a solitary hunter, relying on patience and the element of surprise. It spends hours, sometimes days, tracking the faintest scent, or the softest rustle in the undergrowth. When the moment is right, it launches a lightning-fast ambush, targeting roe deer and chamois with a precision that leaves little chance for escape. The lynx's powerful hind legs propel it forward in a single explosive leap, often covering several meters in an instant. To witness a lynx in its natural habitat is to glimpse a living ghost, an encounter so rare that it lingers in memory for a lifetime. The lynx's presence is often only betrayed by a fleeting shadow between the trees or a set of fresh tracks in the snow, hinting at the secret life unfolding in the heart of the Alps. The history of the lynx in Switzerland is a poignant tale of disappearance and return. Once these forests echoed with their silent passage, by the early 20th century, relentless hunting and habitat loss had driven the lynx to extinction in the region. Their absence left the forests eerily quiet, and the balance of nature was disrupted. Without the lynx, deer populations exploded, leading to overgrazing and the slow decline of the Alpine woodlands. The unchecked numbers of roe deer and chamois began to reshape the landscape, stripping young trees and undergrowth. In 1971, a bold conservation effort was launched to restore the lynx to its rightful home. 14 lynx were carefully captured from the remote Carpathian Mountains, chosen for their genetic diversity and adaptability. These pioneers were released into the snowy wilds of the Swiss Alps, where they began the slow process of reclaiming their territory. Supported by leading conservation organizations, this reintroduction marked a turning point for alpine biodiversity. Over decades, the lynx population has grown, with individuals establishing vast territories that can span hundreds of square kilometers. Each lynx fiercely defends its range, marking boundaries with scent and claw marks on trees, ensuring minimal overlap with rivals. From rocky outcrops, lynx survey their domain, ever watchful for intruders or the subtle movements of prey below. Their return has helped restore the intricate balance of the alpine ecosystem, allowing forests to regenerate and biodiversity to flourish. The story of the grey wolf is equally dramatic, marked by resilience and adaptability. Once, wolves roamed freely across the Alps, their presence shaping the behavior of prey and the structure of the landscape. But centuries of persecution, driven by fear and competition with livestock, led to their eradication from Switzerland. For generations, the haunting chorus of wolf howls vanished from the valleys. The silence was profound, but the wolf's story was far from over. In recent decades, wolves have begun to return, crossing mountain passes from neighboring Italy. These pioneering packs navigate treacherous terrain, braving deep snow and sheer cliffs to reclaim their ancestral lands. As they establish new territories, wolves rely on their extraordinary endurance and teamwork. Unlike the solitary lynx, wolves hunt in coordinated packs, using complex strategies to outmaneuver their prey. Communication is key. Wolves use a sophisticated language of howls, whines, and body signals to coordinate movements and maintain social bonds. During a hunt, the pack fans out, with some members driving prey toward hidden ambushes, while others cut off escape routes. Their primary targets are large herbivores such as red deer and chamois, but wolves are opportunistic and will adapt their tactics to the terrain and the season. In deep snow, wolves use their stamina to exhaust prey, while in dense forests they rely on stealth and sudden bursts of speed. By preying on the weakest and sickest animals, wolves help maintain the health of deer populations and prevent overgrazing. The coexistence of lynx and wolf in the Alps creates a dynamic balance. While the lynx specializes in solitary ambush hunting, the wolf's pack tactics allow it to tackle larger prey and cover greater distances. Together, these apex predators trigger a trophic cascade, a ripple effect that shapes the entire ecosystem from the top down. By keeping herbivore numbers in check, they allow young trees and shrubs to thrive, which in turn supports a greater diversity of plant and animal life. The result is a healthier, more resilient forest, where the delicate balance between predator and prey is restored. Regenerating woodlands provide shelter and food for countless species, from small mammals to rare birds and insects. The ripple effects of lynx and wolf presence are felt at every level of the food web, enriching the biodiversity of the Alps. The return of these apex predators is not merely a triumph for their species, but a restoration of the wild spirit of the Alps itself. Their presence signals a thriving, complex ecosystem, one where every creature, from the smallest insect to the mightiest predator, has a role to play. In the wild heart of the Alps, the lynx and the wolf walk once more, guardians of a kingdom reborn and symbols of nature's enduring resilience. As the first rays of spring sunlight spill across the snow-capped peaks, the Alps awaken from their long, frozen slumber. The silence of winter is broken by the gentle chorus of birdsong and the distant rush of thawing streams. Spring's arrival is not sudden, but a gradual transformation, beginning in the sheltered valleys where the snow recedes and emerald grass pushes through the earth, and slowly ascending the rugged slopes in a relentless tide of green. The retreat of winter is marked by the slow unveiling of the land. Patches of green expand each day, chasing the last remnants of snow higher and higher, until even the loftiest ridges begin to yield to the warmth. Water, once locked in ice, now surges through the valleys. Streams swell with meltwater, carving new paths through the meadows, while waterfalls thunder down cliffs, their spray nourishing the awakening flora below. For the creatures of the Alps, this is a season of profound relief. Alpine marmots, having spent months in hibernation beneath the snow, emerge blinking into the sunlight, their fur thick and their bodies lean. Red deer, gaunt from the scarcity of winter, graze hungrily on the fresh shoots, replenishing their strength. The forest floor is carpeted with the first tender blades of grass, and the trees unfurl delicate new leaves, each one a promise of the abundance to come. Alpine plants, adapted to the short growing season, burst into bloom with astonishing speed, their flowers attracting early pollinators. Across the meadows, the miracle of birth unfolds. Newborn marmots tumble from their burrows, blinking at the unfamiliar world. Fawns and calves, still unsteady on their legs, nestle close to their mothers, their coats dappled for camouflage among the wildflowers. In the shelter of tangled roots and rocky dens, red foxes welcome litters of kits. The vixen nurses her young in the cool darkness, venturing out at dusk to hunt, while the tiny kits wrestle and explore the entrance to their underground home. Roe deer, whose populations have rebounded in recent years, give birth to spotted fawns hidden deep within the tall grass. The mothers return only briefly to nurse, relying on their young's stillness and dappled coats to keep them safe from prowling predators. Survival in these early days is a delicate balance. Mothers must forage constantly to produce enough milk, all while keeping their vulnerable offspring concealed from the ever-watchful eyes of predators. On the crystalline lakes, the drama of renewal plays out in the form of elaborate courtship. Waterfowl gather in pairs, their plumage resplendent, performing intricate dances and calls to attract mates. Great crested grebes, with their ornate head plumes, glide across the water in perfect synchrony, mirroring each other's movements in a ritual that strengthens their bond before nesting. Along the reedy margins, mute swans and mallards gather twigs and reeds, constructing nests that will cradle the next generation. Each egg laid is a fragile hope, fiercely guarded against the unpredictable elements. Far above, in the windswept alpine zone, the cycle of birth continues in harsher conditions. Here, the land is still streaked with snow, and new growth clings to life in sheltered crevices. Chamois and alpine ibex, masters of the cliffs, give birth on narrow ledges high above the valley floor. The newborns, mere hours old, must quickly learn to navigate the treacherous terrain, their tiny hooves gripping the rock as they follow their mothers to safety. The odds are steep. A sudden snowstorm or biting wind can spell disaster for the fragile young, and only the hardiest will survive the unpredictable moods of alpine spring. Late snowfalls blanket the meadows in white, forcing mothers and young to seek shelter and wait out the cold. In these moments, the resilience of alpine life is tested to its limits. Yet, as soon as the sun returns, the young are back on their feet, climbing, leaping, and racing across the slopes, their movements a testament to the urgency of survival in this demanding world. Predators, too, are swept up in the season's demands. Foxes and wolves, now with litters of their own, must hunt tirelessly to provide for their hungry cubs, teaching them the skills they will need to thrive. High above, golden eagles soar on the thermals, scanning the slopes for prey. In their cliffside nests, downy chicks wait, their cries echoing across the valley as their parents return with food. The lynx, elusive and silent, stalks through the dense forest, while wolf packs move with purpose through the meadows, each member playing a role in the hunt to sustain the next generation. The entire ecosystem pulses with energy. Meadows teem with life, hares darting through the grass, insects buzzing among the blossoms, and birds weaving intricate nests in the branches above. Everywhere, the Alps are transformed by a riot of colour and movement. Wildflowers bloom in dazzling profusion, and the air is alive with the hum of bees and the flutter of wings. Yet this season of renewal is as fragile as it is beautiful. A sudden storm, a hungry predator, or a cold snap can tip the balance, reminding all who dwell here that life in the Alps is a constant negotiation with the forces of nature. In this kingdom of predators and prey, every new beginning is both a triumph and a risk, woven into the ancient, ever-renewing tapestry of the mountains. Across the vast, rugged expanse of the Alps, subtle yet unmistakable traces reveal a story of transformation. The wild grandeur of these peaks is now interwoven with patterns and marks that speak of a powerful unseen force shaping the land. Winding ribbons of earth cut through meadows and forests, their surfaces worn smooth by countless journeys. On distant slopes, geometric clearings and unnatural alignments of structures punctuate the landscape, their presence altering the natural flow of the terrain. Roads snake across valleys, carving deep scars into the mountainsides, while shimmering reservoirs pool behind immense barriers, holding back the ancient rush of glacial streams. In open meadows, the grass grows in uneven patches, trampled and compressed, while the air carries faint echoes of distant movement. Wildlife, once undisturbed, now shares its home with the subtle but persistent signs of intrusion. Paths worn into the earth and the faint scent of unfamiliar presence lingering on the wind. Sensitive habitats bear the marks of disturbance, delicate alpine flowers pressed flat, mosses torn from rocks, and the soil itself loosened and eroded, exposing roots and stones beneath. Towers and cables stretch across the sky, casting long shadows over the land. At the forest's edge, clearings widen, and the sharp lines of new structures break the continuity of ancient woodland, fragmenting the once unbroken corridors that wildlife depend upon. Fences and barriers rise where none existed before, forcing animals to alter their ancient routes, hesitating at the edge of unfamiliar obstacles, their paths redirected or blocked entirely. Yet the most profound changes are written in ice and stone. The white mantle of the glaciers, once thick and unyielding, now retreats year by year, exposing raw rock and leaving behind a landscape in flux. The contrast between past and present is stark. Where once there was only ice, now there are bare slopes and trickling streams, the temperature of the air itself rising at an unprecedented pace. The retreat of the glaciers is dramatic and relentless, leaving behind fields of shattered stone and the ghostly outlines of vanished ice. Rivers of meltwater carve new channels through the valleys, their flow swelling with each passing summer, while the ice above thins and fractures, its ancient silence broken by the sound of dripping water. In a single year, vast volumes of ice vanish, leaving behind polished bedrock and deep blue pools where glaciers once stood immovable. The loss is not merely visual, it reshapes the very fabric of the land. Streams that once ran full and cold now dwindle, their beds cracked and dry, the surrounding earth barren and exposed. The lifeblood of great rivers begins here, in the high snows and ice, and as the source weakens, the flow downstream falters, threatening the intricate web of life that depends on its steady pulse. In the heat of summer, streams shrink to a trickle, leaving fish stranded in shallow pools, their struggle for survival a silent testament to the changes unfolding above. The ground itself is shifting. Where permafrost once bound the earth, thawing now causes the land to crack and subside, destabilizing slopes and altering the contours of the mountains. Alpine creatures, finely tuned to the rhythms of snow and season, find their world transformed. The timing of melt and bloom shifts unpredictably, leaving them out of sync with the resources they need. The ptarmigan, once hidden in a seamless blanket of white, now stands exposed against patchy snow, its camouflage rendered useless by the thinning winter cover. Each season the mismatch grows, and the bird's vulnerability increases, its fate tied to the vanishing snow. Predators, once thwarted by the ptarmigan's disguise, now find easy targets on the exposed ground. The population dwindles, the decline etched into the landscape as empty spaces where flocks once gathered. The Alpine ibex, master of the heights, is driven ever upward, seeking the cool refuge of thinning air as the warmth creeps higher each year. But the peaks are finite, and the space above grows ever more limited, the horizon closing in. Grasslands contract, their green expanse shrinking as the climate shifts, and the boundaries of suitable habitat recede. Isolated on shrinking islands of cool, the ibex herds face an uncertain future, their numbers predicted to fall as their world diminishes. Forests, once continuous, now appear as a patchwork, fragmented by clearings and corridors, their unity broken. Over time, the green canopy recedes, replaced by barren ground and the stark outlines of change, the loss visible from above in the shifting patterns of the land. Populations of animals become isolated, separated by barriers of open ground and altered terrain, their genetic diversity threatened by distance and division. Vulnerability increases as disease and hardship take hold in these isolated pockets, the resilience of the wild tested by fragmentation. New arrivals, unbound by the old rules, appear in the high valleys, creatures with unfamiliar habits and appetites, their presence a sign of shifting balances. Along the shores of alpine lakes, these adaptable newcomers explore, their tracks mingling with those of native species, their influence spreading quietly outward. Competition for food and shelter intensifies as the delicate balance of the ecosystem is tested by these persistent intruders. The harmony that once defined these mountains is disrupted, the ancient order unsettled by new dynamics and unforeseen pressures. As dawn breaks over the peaks, the traces remain, silent witnesses to a changing world and a reminder that the fate of this kingdom is written in the marks left behind. As dawn breaks over the Alps, the ancient peaks stand as silent witnesses to a future shaped by both challenge and promise. The story of these mountains is not one of despair, but of remarkable resilience and transformation. Across the vast slopes, forests are quietly reclaiming ground once lost to centuries of grazing and timber harvest. Young trees, nurtured by the rich alpine soil and the rhythm of the seasons, are knitting together a tapestry of green that stabilizes the land, shelters wildlife, and draws carbon from the air. In these rejuvenated woodlands, red squirrels dart among the branches, and the return of native flora signals a slow but steady recovery of the ecosystem's intricate web. Alpine meadows, once trampled and eroded, now burst with wildflowers and the hum of pollinators, each species playing its part in the renewal of the land. The resurgence of apex predators, such as the Eurasian lynx and the wolf, marks a turning point in the Alps' ecological story. Their presence signals a landscape regaining its natural balance, where predator and prey shape each other's destinies, and the health of the entire ecosystem is restored. The lynx, once vanished from these forests, now moves silently through the undergrowth, its return a testament to the Alps' capacity for renewal. The haunting howl of the wolf echoes across snowy valleys, a sound absent for generations, now a symbol of wildness restored. High above, the glaciers, ancient rivers of ice, face an uncertain future. Innovative methods such as the use of vast reflective sheets shield select glaciers from the relentless summer sun. These interventions slow the melt, buying precious time for the delicate balance of water that sustains alpine life. While not a permanent solution, these creative measures highlight the adaptability of the alpine environment. Glaciers, though diminished, continue to feed crystal-clear streams and rivers, supporting a mosaic of habitats from alpine tundra to lush valley wetlands. The future of the Alps will be shaped by the interplay of natural forces, climate, geology, and the remarkable adaptability of life. As temperatures shift, some species will retreat to higher elevations, while others will expand their range, creating new patterns of coexistence and competition. Alpine ibex, sure-footed and resilient, continue to thrive on rocky outcrops, adapting to changing vegetation and snow cover. Golden eagles soar above, their keen eyes scanning for movement below, embodying the spirit of survival and adaptation that defines this mountain realm. As the seasons turn, the Alps reveal their enduring strength. Spring brings a riot of color to the meadows. Summer fills the air with the calls of birds and insects. Autumn cloaks the forests in gold, and winter's silence is broken only by the whisper of falling snow. The Alps' future is a story of natural resilience, of landscapes healing, species returning, and ecosystems adapting to a changing world. Each year, the wild heart of these mountains beats stronger, a testament to the enduring power of nature. In the quiet moments as mist drifts through the valleys and the first light touches the highest peaks, the Alps remind us that their story is far from over. It is a story of hope, of renewal, and of the extraordinary resilience of the natural world. The silent gaze of the lynx, the soaring flight of the eagle, and the distant howl of the wolf are living proof that the Alps can remain a sanctuary for wildness, a place where nature's ancient rhythms continue to shape the land, and where the future, though uncertain, is filled with possibility. Beneath the grandeur of snow-capped peaks and the shadow of ancient forests, a world unfolds at a scale so small it often escapes the eye, a world shaped by the tireless efforts of alpine insects. As the first rays of sun warm the dew-laden meadows, thousands of tiny lives awaken. Here, the mountain bumblebee emerges from its burrow, its dense, insulating fuzz perfectly adapted to the brisk, high-altitude air. With deliberate precision, it visits gentian and alpine aster, transferring pollen between blossoms and ensuring the cycle of renewal that brings color to these slopes each spring. Its low, resonant buzz is both a call to action and a promise. Without these pollinators, the wildflower tapestry would unravel. Closer to the ground, leaf-cutter ants carve intricate paths through moss and lichen. Each fragment of leaf they carry is destined not for consumption, but for cultivation, a subterranean garden of fungi, tended with meticulous care. This silent agriculture enriches the soil, fueling the vital growth of alpine plants and supporting the broader food web. Amid the rocky scree, the mountain grasshopper performs its ancient dance. Its powerful legs launch it across gravel and stone, while its subtle coloration renders it nearly invisible to predators. Each leap is both escape and courtship, as the distinctive crackling of wings acts as a signal to potential mates. Hoverflies, masters of mimicry, flit between blooms. Their striped bodies mimic the warning colors of bees and wasps, warding off would-be hunters. In their larval stage, these insects are voracious predators, consuming aphids and keeping plant populations in check, a delicate balance of predator and prey that shapes the very fabric of the meadow. As dusk descends, the alpine glowworm reveals itself, its bioluminescence a beacon among the twilight grasses. The faint green light is both lure and signal, orchestrating encounters in the brief alpine summer, ensuring the next generation will continue this ancient dance. These insects, though small, are the architects of the Alps' resilience. Their pollination, soil aeration, and pest control are the unseen forces that sustain forests, meadows, and all who depend on them. In the intricate web of alpine life, their roles are irreplaceable, threads that bind the ecosystem together, weaving stability from fragility. Within this hidden world, the pulse of the Alps beats strongest. It is a realm of constant motion, delicate interactions, and quiet triumphs. Here, in the shadow of giants, the smallest lives craft the foundation of the mountain's enduring vitality, a legacy as old as the peaks themselves, and as essential to the future of the Alps as the glaciers and forests above. Beneath the flutter of wings and the hum of insects, another realm patiently endures, the secretive world of alpine amphibians and reptiles. Here, survival is an art honed by millennia, practiced in silence among stones, streams, and shadowed glades. As dawn's chill recedes, the alpine salamander, cloaked in jet-black skin, emerges from the damp shelter of moss and leaf litter. Unlike its lowland cousins, this elusive amphibian gives birth to fully formed young, a rare adaptation for life in the cold, unpredictable mountains. Moisture is its lifeblood. Each step is a careful negotiation with the ever-present threat of desiccation. Its slow, deliberate movements conceal a quiet tenacity, an ability to endure long, harsh winters beneath the frost, waiting for the brief, wet summers to return. In sun-drenched clearings, the viviparous lizard basks on warm stone, scales glittering with dew. It, too, has mastered the mountain's demands. Rather than laying eggs, it gives birth to live young, sidestepping the peril of icy soils. Its nimble form darts between crevices, a flash of emerald and bronze, vanishing at the slightest hint of shadow. Each movement is a calculated gamble, balancing the need to absorb precious heat against the risk of predation from above. Along the banks of alpine streams, the common frog's muted chorus echoes at dusk. These amphibians are vital indicators, their porous skin absorbing the mountain's story, each drop of water, each trace of snowmelt, each subtle shift in climate. Their tadpoles drift in icy pools, transforming within weeks, their metamorphosis a race against the fleeting warmth of alpine summers. Hidden among boulders, the adder, the Alps' only venomous snake, lies coiled in patient watchfulness. Its cryptic pattern blends seamlessly with lichen and stone, an evolutionary shield against both predator and prey. It emerges only when the sun's rays linger, sensing vibrations through the earth, striking with precision when opportunity arises. The adder's presence is a testament to the balance of the high-altitude ecosystem, predator and prey, locked in an ancient silent conversation. Together, these amphibians and reptiles are the Alps' silent sentries. Their lives unfold in the margins, in the moist shadows and sunlit stones, weaving resilience into the tapestry of mountain life. They aerate soils, control insect populations, and serve as vital links in the food web. Their sensitivity to change makes them early messengers of the mountain's health, a living barometer for the fragile world above the tree line. In the hush between heartbeats, beneath the grandeur of snow and rock, their stories persist, quiet, patient, and essential. The Alps endure not only through the might of their peaks, but through the tenacity of these hidden guardians, whose watchful presence sustains the wild heart of the mountains. Beneath the riot of alpine meadows and the hush of ancient forests, a hidden world thrives, one shaped in darkness, sculpted by small, tireless lives. Here, beneath the stones and roots, the true architects of the Alps labor unseen, the burrowing mammals and industrious insects, whose every movement transforms the mountain from within. In the cool, mineral-rich soil, the alpine mole forges its labyrinthine kingdom. With paddle-like forelimbs and velvety fur, it tunnels ceaselessly through the earth, its senses attuned to the faintest tremor of a worm or beetle above. Each tunnel is a lifeline, aerating compacted ground, channeling moisture, and enriching the soil for the plants that cloak the slopes above. Though rarely glimpsed, the mole's presence is revealed by the soft mounds it leaves in its wake, humble monuments to a life spent in perpetual darkness. Sharing these subterranean corridors, the mountain shrew darts with restless energy. Its heartbeat, impossibly rapid, drives a metabolism that demands constant foraging. Insects, larvae, and tiny seeds fuel its frantic search, while its acute sense of smell guides it through the maze of roots and tunnels. Every night this diminutive hunter scours its territory, a vital link in the food web, recycling nutrients and controlling populations of soil-dwelling invertebrates. Deeper still, the blind, pale larvae of alpine beetles burrow methodically through decaying plant matter. These patient decomposers are nature's recyclers. Their slow digestion breaks down the remnants of last season's growth, returning vital minerals to the earth. In the dampest crevices, ant colonies expand their networks, each tunnel and chamber meticulously constructed. Worker ants shepherd aphids and harvest seeds, while the queen presides in darkness, ensuring the continuity of the colony through the harshest winters. Even the humble earthworm plays an outsized role in this hidden community. Its passage through the soil aerates and enriches, creating microhabitats for countless other organisms. In the silence below, roots and mycelium entwine, drawing sustenance from the work of these tireless engineers. Though their world is shrouded from sight, the impact of these underground dwellers is profound. They shape the land's fertility, influence the health of forests and meadows, and provide food for surface predators. Their silent industry sustains the Alps from the inside out, a reminder that the mountain's strength is rooted not only in stone and snow, but in the countless unseen lives that toil beneath our feet. High above the peaks, where the horizon blurs into a tapestry of shifting clouds, the Alps are shaped by forces as ancient as the mountains themselves. Here, the weather is not a backdrop, but a living, breathing master, a force that sculpts the rhythm of every life below. Winds sweep across the ridges, channeled by jagged summits and plunging valleys. Warm air, rising from southern plains, collides with frigid northern currents, birthing storms in moments. Thunderheads blossom in the afternoon, their shadows racing across snowfields and meadows. Lightning forks against the stone, igniting a chain of renewal and destruction, clearing old growth, nourishing the soil, and setting the stage for new beginnings. And summer, sudden downpours unleash torrents that carve the land. Mountain streams swell, churning with silt and debris. For chamois and ibex, these rains are both blessing and hazard. Lush grasses sprout in the aftermath, but treacherous slopes threaten to give way beneath uncertain hooves. The weather's hand is gentler in the mornings, when mist drapes the forests in secrecy. Dew beads on alpine flowers, providing a vital drink for bees and butterflies before the day's heat. Yet by midday, the sun's intensity can be unforgiving, driving marmots to their burrows and sending birds to the cool shelter of pines. Winter is the Alps' most exacting test. Arctic winds descend, swirling snow into blinding storms. The landscape transforms, valleys vanish beneath a mantle of white, and silence falls. For ptarmigan and mountain hare, only camouflage and cunning ensure survival. Beneath the snow, voles tunnel in insulated corridors, finding warmth and food where others cannot. Avalanches, born from the delicate balance between snow, wind, and temperature, thunder down slopes without warning. These sudden cataclysms reshape the terrain, creating clearings for pioneer plants and new habitats for returning wildlife. Even the smallest creatures are attuned to the weather's moods. Alpine salamanders emerge only when rain softens the ground, while butterflies time their life cycles to fleeting windows of warmth and sun. The weather dictates migrations, hibernations, and every heartbeat in between. In the Alps, weather is a relentless sculptor, ever-changing, unpredictable, and omnipresent. It governs the fate of predator and prey, the bloom of flowers and the flow of streams. Each gust, each drop, each flash is a reminder. In this mountain kingdom, life endures not by conquering the elements but by yielding to their ancient dynamic dance. Amid the raw power of the Alps, where rocks split and storms rage, a quieter battle for survival unfolds at ground level. Alpine plants, masters of endurance, cling to life where few others dare to root. Their world is one of thin soils, biting winds, and a growing season measured in mere weeks. Yet within this harshness, they reveal a tapestry of extraordinary adaptations shaped by millennia. Cushion plants, like the delicate moss campion, form dense, low mounds that hug the earth. This compact shape reduces exposure to icy winds, creating a microclimate that traps warmth and moisture. Their tiny, star-like flowers bloom together, attracting the scarce alpine pollinators that brave the heights. Further upslope, the edelweiss, icon of alpine resilience, grows a felt of silvery hairs on its leaves and petals. These fine fibers shield it from ultraviolet radiation and conserve precious water, a necessity in the relentless sun and dry air above the tree line. Roots run deep and wide, anchoring plants against the pool of avalanches and the shifting freeze-thaw cycles. Some, like the glacier buttercup, push their roots through scree and into crevices, drawing on pockets of meltwater hidden beneath the stones. Others employ chemical ingenuity. The alpine saxifrage produces natural antifreeze proteins, allowing its cells to survive sub-zero nights. Many species synchronize their growth and flowering to the briefest windows of warmth, racing to set seed before the first snows return. Survival here is not just about endurance, but about partnership. Mycorrhizal fungi entwine with plant roots, extending their reach and sharing nutrients, a hidden alliance beneath the surface. Mosses and lichens pioneer the barest rock, gradually building soil for those who follow. Even in the most exposed crags, life persists. The snowbell's buds overwinter beneath the surface, ready to burst forth at the first sign of thaw. Seeds of alpine poppies are cast to the wind, lying dormant for years until just the right conditions spark their emergence. In the Alps, the plant's struggle is silent but relentless. Each adaptation, be it in form, chemistry, or timing, tells a story of survival against the odds. Together, they stitch a living tapestry across the mountainsides, painting the Alps with color and life, and providing the foundation upon which all other alpine creatures depend. Beneath the towering peaks and the wind-scoured slopes lies a world often overlooked, a network of crystalline lakes and tumbling streams, hidden jewels cradled in the heart of the Alps. Here, the water's surface mirrors the sky, but beneath, entire ecosystems pulse with life, adapting to a realm of ice and stone. Fed by ancient glaciers and snowmelt, alpine waters are clear, cold and pure, yet deceptively fragile. These aquatic environments are shaped by the seasons, swelling with spring thaw and shrinking in the grip of winter. The temperature rarely rises above a few degrees, demanding unique strategies from the creatures that call these waters home. Tiny invertebrates, like the stonefly nymph and the caddisfly larva, thrive in the oxygen-rich currents. Stonefly nymphs cling to submerged rocks, their bodies streamlined to withstand the relentless flow. Caddisfly larvae build intricate cases from pebbles, sand, and plant fragments, anchoring themselves against the stream's force. These insect architects are not just survivors, they are the foundation of the aquatic food web, nourishing fish and amphibians alike. Among the pebbled shallows, the elusive alpine newt glides silently. Its life is a dance between land and water, spending months in the icy streams to breed before returning to the shelter of mossy banks. The newt's skin shifts from dull brown to vivid blue and orange during the mating season, a flash of color in the subdued underwater world. Cold, oligotrophic lakes, with their low nutrient levels, harbor fish species perfectly attuned to scarcity. The Arctic char, a relic of the Ice Age, patrols the depths. Its metabolism slows to match the frigid water, conserving energy through the long, lean winters. In the shallows, schools of minnows dart through sunbeams, their silvery bodies scattering light like liquid mirrors. Even the flora here are specialists. Aquatic mosses and algae cling to submerged stones, photosynthesizing in the thin, filtered light. They oxygenate the water, providing a lifeline for the delicate balance of aquatic life. Diatoms, microscopic algae encased in glass-like shells, drift with the currents, their geometric forms forming the base of an invisible food chain. These hidden aquatic systems are not immune to the challenges of the alpine world. Torrential rains, melting glaciers, and landslides can alter their chemistry in an instant. Yet, for millennia, life here has persisted, adapting to cycles of feast and famine, freeze and thaw. In the silence beneath the water's surface, the secret lives of alpine lakes and streams continue, fragile, resilient, and vital. They are the arteries of the mountains, nourishing the land above and sustaining the intricate web of alpine life. As the sun slips behind jagged ridgelines and the last golden light drains from the sky, the Alps transform. Daytime's grandeur gives way to a world ruled by shadows, where the night's cool embrace stirs a secret cast of characters into motion. Under a canopy of stars, the alpine landscape hums with hidden activity, life unfolding in hushed tones and fleeting glimmers. In the high meadows, the air grows crisp and the chorus of diurnal birds fades. Emerging from rocky burrows, the elusive alpine marmot begins its nightly patrol, foraging with caution. Though more active by day, a few risk the dusk, wary of predators that now prowl with sharpened senses. In the undergrowth, small mammals, like the snow vole, scurry in silence, their tiny feet barely disturbing the moss as they search for seeds and insects under the cloak of darkness. Above the tree line, the night belongs to the masters of silent flight. Tawny owls and Eurasian eagle owls sweep low over the slopes, their wings cutting through the thin mountain air without a whisper. Eyes adapted to the faintest glimmer, these nocturnal hunters scan for movement, every rustle, every heartbeat betraying the presence of prey. With sudden precision, an owl swoops, talons extended, claiming a vole for its midnight meal. In the dense forests lower down, the pine marten becomes a phantom acrobat, leaping from branch to branch in pursuit of unsuspecting birds roosting for the night. Its keen nose picks up the faintest scent, and its amber eyes reflect the moonlight as it navigates the labyrinth of ancient pines and larch. On the scree slopes, the alpine salamander emerges from beneath cool stones, its jet-black skin glistening with dew. Unlike its daytime relatives, it relishes the dampness of the night, hunting slow-moving insects among the rocks, a rare sighting, even for those who know where to look. The waterways, too, are transformed. Bats, such as the lesser horseshoe bat, flit above streams, their echolocation clicks bouncing off the water as they snatch up moths and midges in mid-air. The surface ripples as trout rise to feed on insects drawn by the moon's reflection. Hidden in the shadows, the alpine newt becomes bolder, venturing from its shelter to feed under the cover of darkness. All around, the night air is alive with the subtle sounds of alpine insects, crickets and grasshoppers serenading the stars, their songs weaving through the silence. Predators and prey, each guided by instinct and adaptation, navigate the terrain in a delicate balance. Here, in the darkness, the Alps reveal their other face, a realm of stealth and strategy, where survival depends on senses honed for the night. As dawn approaches and the first light creeps over snow-capped peaks, these nocturnal wanderers retreat into shadow, leaving behind only faint traces of their passage. The day returns, but the memory of the night lingers, a hidden heartbeat beneath the surface of the mountains. As the seasons shift and the pulse of the Alps beats in rhythm with the sun, ancient migratory routes awaken across the mountain kingdom. Above the serrated peaks and snow-laced valleys, the sky becomes a living thoroughfare, an invisible highway guiding countless travelers on epic journeys. Each year, as autumn's chill creeps down from the summits, flocks of birds gather in restless anticipation. Alpine choughs and snowfinches, joined by flocks of redstarts and wheatears, ride the thermals in swirling formations, their calls echoing off stone and glacier. Higher still, the delicate silhouettes of cranes and storks drift southward, wings outstretched, harnessing the wind to cross daunting distances. These feathered voyagers navigate by starlight and magnetic fields, their instincts honed by generations, a living memory of routes spanning continents. Not all travelers soar above. On the rugged slopes and in the dense forests, herds of red deer and chamois begin a quieter but no less perilous migration. As snow deepens and food grows scarce, they descend in measured steps to sheltered valleys, seeking winter pasture and safety from the biting cold. The ibex, masters of the cliffs, follow ancient trails etched into rock, moving to lower elevations where exposed grass tufts offer vital nourishment. The migrations are not without danger. Predators, lynx and wolves, shadow the herds, drawn by the promise of vulnerable prey. Avalanches, sudden storms, and icy rivers test the endurance of every traveler. Yet, these obstacles are woven into the fabric of alpine life, shaping the strength and resilience of those who call the mountains home. Some creatures, like the alpine marmot, forgo the journey altogether, retreating into deep hibernation. But for those that move, the migration is more than survival. It is a testament to the interconnectedness of the Alps, linking distant valleys and high plateaus in a seasonal cycle that has endured for millennia. As spring returns, the journey reverses. The air fills once more with the flutter of wings and the rhythmic tread of hooves, each traveller drawn back to familiar breeding grounds and summer pastures. The mountains, newly awakened, welcome their returning guests, a living reminder that the Alps are not just a place but a passage where life is always on the move. Beneath the grandeur of alpine peaks and the drama of seasonal migrations lies a world unseen, a network of life so intricate and vital that the fate of the entire ecosystem rests upon its silent labor. This is the realm of fungi and microorganisms, the hidden web that binds the Alps together. As autumn leaves fall and alpine meadows wither, countless spores drift silently on mountain breezes. Invisible to the naked eye, these fungal pioneers settle into the soil, ready to begin their tireless work. Mycorrhizal fungi, forming delicate thread-like mycelium, reach out to the roots of larches, spruces, and alpine wildflowers. In exchange for sugars drawn from photosynthesis, they deliver water and essential minerals, unlocking nutrients from the rocky substrate that would otherwise remain forever out of reach. Beneath the mossy carpets and leaf litter, saprophytic fungi and bacteria orchestrate the grand recycling of the Alps. They break down decaying wood, animal remains, and last year's grasses, transforming death into new life. In this silent process, carbon is sequestered and nitrogen is returned to the soil, fuel for the next generation of alpine flora. In the coldest, most barren scree, extremophile microorganisms endure where few others can. Some, encased in icy crystals, feed on minerals within stone itself, gradually releasing elements that enrich the surrounding habitat. Others form biofilms on the surfaces of alpine lakes and streams, filtering water and supporting entire micro-ecosystems that sustain aquatic insects and ultimately fish and birds. Lichens, remarkable symbiotic partnerships between fungi and algae, paint the boulders in shades of gold, green, and grey. These resilient organisms anchor the soil against erosion and serve as an early warning system for changes in air quality, their health reflecting the purity of the mountain air. Together, these microscopic architects underpin every visible life form in the Alps. They are the silent mediators of nutrient cycles, the unseen engineers of soil stability, and the quiet custodians of alpine resilience. Without their ceaseless, hidden labor, the splendor of the mountains above would fade, and the cycles of life that animate the Alps would falter. In the alpine world, it is not only the mighty and the migratory that shape destiny, but the minute and the many, working in concert, beneath the surface, to sustain the mountain kingdom for generations yet to come. The story of the Alps begins not with snow or forest, but with fire and stone, an epic saga carved across hundreds of millions of years. Long before eagles soared or glaciers sculpted their icy trails, the land that would become the Alps lay hidden beneath tropical seas. Layers of ancient sediment, teeming with the remains of marine life, gradually accumulated on the ocean floor, forming vast beds of limestone and dolomite. Then, around 100 million years ago, the slow, relentless collision of the African and Eurasian tectonic plates unleashed unimaginable forces. The seafloor buckled and folded, thrusting sedimentary layers skyward in a monumental upheaval that continues to this day. Peaks like Mont Blanc and the Matterhorn rose from the depths, their jagged spires a testament to the power of geological transformation. Yet the shaping of the Alps did not end with uplift. Over the millennia, glaciers have waxed and waned, gouging deep valleys and cirques, polishing granite faces, and leaving behind moraines that trace their ancient paths. Rivers, born of melting snow and rain, have carved winding gorges and deposited alluvial fans across the foothills, gradually sculpting the terrain into the dramatic vistas we see today. Beneath the surface, the Alps remain in motion. Earthquakes, though rare, are a reminder that the collision of continents is ongoing, the mountains still rising by mere millimeters each year. In the depths, mineral-rich waters seep through fractures, depositing veins of quartz, crystals, and precious ores that glint in the darkness. Above ground, the relentless freeze and thaw cycles of alpine weather split rock into scree and talus, feeding the slow march of erosion. Landslides and rockfalls are common, reshaping slopes and creating new habitats for pioneering plants and animals. Even now, glaciers retreat, exposing ancient stone and revealing fossils of creatures long vanished. Witnesses to a time before the Alps themselves existed, the stones beneath our feet hold the memory of vanished oceans, the scars of tectonic fury, and the quiet, patient artistry of ice and water. In every cliff, every outcrop, every pebble on an alpine path, the geological history of the Alps is written, an ever-evolving chronicle of creation, destruction, and renewal, still unfolding beneath the eternal sky.